Hello, everybody, and welcome back to week 42 of tracking our local shifting real estate market here in southern New Jersey, Burlington, Camden, Gloucester counties. We got 10 weeks left until the end of the year, and today is going to be a little bit of a continuation from last week's conversation at the end of this. So, when we ended last week's video, I had mentioned about a program. It's called Cash to Keys, or the Buy Now, Sell Later program. Today, what I'm going to be going over after we review a couple of our stats are the frequently asked questions with the Cash to Keys program. The synopsis, the quick off, it's an ability, if you have a conventional or a VA mortgage, when you go to offer on a property, to have a cash guarantee behind that offer. And you may say, okay, well, I don't have the cash. I don't have the cash. I'm using a mortgage for that reason. It's not your cash. It's a private equity firm that's partnered with Annie Mac Mortgage that adds that as a backup to your offer. So anyway, it's confusing. That's why I'm going to be going over the entire FAQ sheet that was made by the guy who literally made the program. So that's what we're going to review today. But let's jump into our stuff that we actually have on our stats for this week. So last week we saw a pretty big jump in that total active listings from 1,400 up to 1,473. Just kind of hovering. We lost about 13 listings off of that, but right about that same area. So that was nice to see. Our new listings up at 287, our pendings at 275, and our closed at 258. So golden ratio intact with that, with closed being the least, new listings being the most out of those. Expired, withdrawn, or canceled, a 1% change, less than that basically, from 4 to 5, 65 to 64. We only lost one on that one. And then, but we did see, now this one was interesting. This may have been at 179 as I scroll all the way back here through this. I think 179. Yeah, I think 179 is our single largest week of price reductions. And sorry for the long drawn out drum roll for that. Yeah, so 179. We have a new record. All right, well, we're going to put that in here for this year. So again, week 42 of the year, we're setting a record in price reductions. So that's an interesting one. Why? Well, let's keep going down here. Days on market, average and median still kind of the same, hovering 57.26. Our total volume on market has stayed the same. But look at this consistency we've had. Now, again, you had just basically 2 weeks here. You had this 349 and this 344. But you have 339, 339. Look at all these other 339s. And again, I'll scroll this one back a little bit. We've been hovering around that mark basically since the end of July. We kind of hit, week 28, then we went a bit above it. Then we've been hovering right around that. So, I mean, we have literally had from week 29-ish, week 28 all the way to week 42. So we've had almost 14 weeks, a little over 3 months of really stable prices. So these price reductions are happening because there's been inventory that's been sitting for that period of time, and they're happening to start kind of coming down off the high horse a little bit if they want to get their property sold. So all that I think is pretty normal for what we've been seeing. It's no huge divergence from the trend. The biggest thing that I see is don't be afraid right now to look at some of these listings that have been sitting on the market for maybe a week or a couple weeks to offer under asking price, right? There are a lot of sellers who are they're not kidding themselves that they're going to get $50,000 to $100,000 over asking on these listings. A lot of them are recognizing, hey, I'd be happy to just get the list price that we're going in at. So with those price reductions on the rise, that's telling me there's a little bit of a softening. And we have the ability now as buyers to go in there and not give away the farm. We don't have to give away every inspection contingency and every appraisal contingency and all the other things that we have to add into these deals. We might actually be able to get something slightly below a perceived market value. So that part I really like. Now, I said we're going to flip gears here a little bit, and we are. So I'm going to flip over here, okay? Now, I have these two here. Obviously, you can pause this video and you can read through this as much as you want. If you want the PDF copy, just email me. I'll send you over both of these sheets so you can just read through them on your own time in a little bit of a better format. But let's just first take a look at this first one. So what is a cash to keys offer? With a cash offer approval, your purchase contract is accompanied by a cash offer addendum, which allows you to make a cash offer with no mortgage contingency after a short due diligence period where you can have a home inspection appraisal. The cash offer becomes non-refundable and the sellers know that it'll close. Okay, so it's not that you just get rid of your mortgage and you're only offering in cash. You're starting with your mortgage offer, so you get approval, you get the cash offer approval. Then when we send over the offer, we send this addendum with it that basically explains what we're going to go into here. Why are cash offers better than an offer with mortgage financing? Sellers love cash, we know that, and prefer them to financed. With an Annie Mac Cash to Keys, the seller knows that their transaction will close based on the terms of the offer and the backing of Annie Mac private equity Cash to Keys. If there's a problem with your mortgage, Cash to Keys will step in and close with cash, then resell to you for the same price. This is the biggest little hinge in this program. So here's what happens. We go under contract with your conventional or VA mortgage. Unfortunately, not available for FHA mortgages, but for conventional and VA, right? As we go forward, let's say, as we're going through that, we just have a small issue with your financial situation. Okay. Now it could be really anything. This is fairly not limited to a whole lot of things. But let's say, for example, that while you're under contract, you accidentally go and you put a brand new television on a credit card, and your credit drops ever so slightly. And all of a sudden your credit, your debt to income, all those things are suddenly a little out of whack. And they said, hey, we have to pay that off, but your score won't rebound for a 1 month period. And so you're unable to actually move forward with the purchase. What this does is it tells the seller, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about a buyer having issues while you're under contract. We're going to purchase a home cash, and then you get to effectively move into the home. You could pay them a little bit of rent, or you could just get your situation sorted, and then you can just buy the house right back from Annie Mac. What we're trying to do is make life easy for the seller. Okay, but let's talk about some of the costs and some of the little extra asterisks, right? So how do I get started? Apply with Annie Mac Home Mortgage Loan Officer. After you complete your application, Annie Mac will guide you towards your pre-approval. It's like any other pre-approval. They're going to look at three things: your credit, your income, and your assets. That's it, right? It's like a normal pre-approval. So what's the catch, right? What is the catch? What do I have to pay for the Annie Mac Cash to Keys offer service? You pay a cash offer fee that can be refunded at your closing. Remember this part, okay? Can be refunded at your closing. When you close directly from the seller and use Annie Mac Home Mortgage and our designated title partner, if your offer is not accepted, there is no fee. So let's just first say you make an offer, there's no fee. There's no fee that happens, right? This only happens if you actually get a contract and you're actually going to move forward. And what they do is they take a little part of that. They take a small like escrow at the time of signing the contract, and Annie Mac holds it. Now, if everything goes according to plan, you close using Annie Mac as your loan officer. You close at one of their local title companies. They have to have a specific title company because not every title company is versed in how to do this. And so, but where we work, there's a number of them. So this isn't really all that prohibitive. Okay. So if you do those two things and you close without needing them, Annie Mac Cash to Keys, to buy your property, you get refunded that entire thing. So it's kind of like just putting an escrow there. As long as everything goes according to plan, you just get all that money back. And then it's as if you've just gone through a normal loan. Okay, where do you get the cash to purchase the home for me? And we fund from our operating account and warehouses line established with partners, right? So they've created partners. They have an equity partner and an actual firm that helps them with this kind of money that they use to do this program. Can I use my own agent, real estate agent? Yes. So I am a certified Cash to Keys realtor, but you can use any realtor you want. Again, I would love it if you work with me, but this has always been more about just good information for everybody. So yes, you can use any real estate agent you'd like. Who controls the negotiations? Just like a typical purchase, you and your agent have control over the negotiations and your due diligence, including inspections. So this isn't saying you have to take the home as is or you have to do full inspections, because that might prohibit you. No, you get to go into this in a normal negotiation. This is just the rider that goes with it. So who pays for the home inspection and the appraisal? As a buyer, you still pay for those things. That's normal. It's on a normal deal, so that's not a big change. Is an appraisal done? Annie Mac Home Mortgage requires an appraisal in many transactions. If you choose another lender, they will likely require an appraisal in most transactions. Again, that's common. That's fine. I'm used to that. Where are Annie Mac Cash to Keys offers available? Available in over 25 states. At the time of recording this, I am here in New Jersey doing it. I'm licensed in both New Jersey and Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure it's available in both states, in Pennsylvania and in New Jersey. I've heard of a lot of people in PA doing this. I've actually sat through presentations in both states for this. Okay, what does Annie Mac Cash to Keys offer process look like? All right, so I think what I'm going to do here is, let me just make this a little bit bigger, because I think this is something that, and I'm just going to kind of scroll myself down here. So let's take a look at this. One, get pre-approved, right? Work with the Annie Mac Home Mortgage to submit your income and assets, right? We know that. If you're pre-approved, you're assigned a home purchase coordinator. Okay, so that's easy. So get pre-approved. All right, easy. The cash offer agreement. So your home purchase coordinator will discuss the steps and what is required of you up front. They'll give you this information in writing, and then there will be an agreement with Annie Mac Cash to Keys to submit a cash offer. So this isn't just if you get pre-approved, you automatically have to go in this. You could just get pre-approved with Annie Mac and do your own thing. but you would actually sign the cash offer agreement at that point. And again, if you're not comfortable with it, don't sign it, right? But this is an option for a lot of people who otherwise couldn't have purchased. So this might be your last chance, right? If you're like a low down payment conventional in a competitive area, which our area is, you may have no other option to get your offer accepted other than something like this. So again, that's the agreement, but you know about it beforehand. Find the home you love. So number 3, find the home you love. Your real estate agent will spring into action, I think that's supposed to say, to draft and submit the offer, and your home purchase coordinator will provide the cash to keys cash offer addendum. Okay, so you just make an offer with your agent like normal. That's fine. Number 4, secure your home. When the seller accepts your offer, your agent can arrange for the home to be inspected and the property can be appraised. You will review your disclosure documents, submit your earnest deposit, and review your home inspection. 5, close on your new home. Your mortgage will be processed and you will close on your new home backed by Annie Mac Cash to Keys offer, right? So that would be if it just went sort of normally, but there's an or, right? That's right? We're always looking for that asterisk. What's the little thing that's going to screw this up or make it more expensive than I thought or something like that? In the unlikely event that something impacted your mortgage, Cash to Keys will step into the contract per the terms of the offer addendum and purchase with cash to reserve it for you. You will purchase your home from Cash to Keys as soon as your mortgage is ready, for the same price that you contracted. In states that charge a real estate transfer tax, you will be required to pay all of the transfer tax for the second transaction. So here's what that means. I know Pennsylvania requires a transfer tax. In New Jersey, most of the time the transfer tax, the New Jersey Realty transfer fee, is generally paid by the seller. So we would have to see if in that New Jersey contract, you might actually pay for that. And you could actually, if you Google right now, open up a tab on whatever browser you're watching this in, and just type in NJ Realty Transfer Calculator. Just put in the purchase price of the home that you're considering, or maybe do it with your home. It'll spit you back how much that would be. So it could add a little bit to it. But again, that's the unlikely event that something happened, right? This is the fee we're paying to have this little bit of guarantee, okay? So I'm going to minimize that, and then let's come back over here to the second sheet, and we're going to wrap up here. I know this is a little bit dense with some of this information, but I wanted to make sure we verbally went through all the major issues here because, again, I do see this as a wonderful option. All right, enough, Connor. Who is the home purchase coordinator? What do they do, right? So the home purchase coordinator works for Annie Mac Cash to Keys and is a specialist in cash offer. You're assigned a dedicated home purchase coordinator and may speak with a different home purchase coordinator if your dedicated one is unavailable. That coordinator is there to educate you on the cash offer. They walk you through the steps of the transaction beforehand so you know what happens during every step and what will be required of you. The coordinator will also communicate with your agent. The coordinator does not work on your mortgage. You will work with your loan officer and a processor on your mortgage. So, all right, what this is saying is that when you're with Annie Mac, you're going to have the loan officer that approves you for your loan, right? Then you have the home purchase coordinator who works under the same roof, but they do different things. Your home purchase coordinator is not doing the underwriting for your loan, and your loan officer is not doing the cash offer. They work as a team, okay? So they're both with inside of Annie Mac, okay? And I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger for everybody because I realize as you look at this, it might be a little small. Can I get an inspection? What happens if the inspection comes back with issues? Yes, the cash purchase contract executed between you and the seller allows for an inspection. You and your agent have complete control over negotiating any issues uncovered in the inspection that you choose to address with the seller. We will not purchase a home unless you and your agent are satisfied with its condition. That's huge for me, right? You still get to have your normal inspection. You still get to go make sure, whether you do as is, whether you do normal inspections, whether you do structural safety, environmental, whether you do a cash threshold, where you waive the inspections, whatever, you have to be comfortable with it. The Annie Mac is not telling you what type of inspection you have to have. It just has to be that you're comfortable with it, okay? How does Cash to Keys make money, right? How are they making money off this transaction? We charge the cash offer fee. If you purchase directly from the seller and use Annie Mac Home Mortgage and are designated title partner to purchase your home, the cash offer fee is refunded in full, right? So they don't take that little bit of escrow. We either make money on the cash offer fee or we refund the cash offer fee to you and make money on the mortgage and title, right? So they're saying, look, if this goes through like a normal transaction, we're Annie Mac, the company, we're making money just because you're doing a loan with us, right? You're doing a loan with us, right? And with one of these approved title companies. The other way is that they are going to make that cash offer fee. So it's either way, Annie Mac does make money on this, but the majority way that this happens, it's just a normal loan. It's just a normal loan that Annie Mac does. And the interest rates are prevailing rates. There's no special interest rate. I made sure to ask that in our question. I think it might even be a question here. When do I pay the cash offer fee? So this happens, okay, you pay an earnest money deposit and incorporated cash offer fee 48 hours of getting under contract. So as soon as you get under contract, there's 2 escrows due. One is the escrow for your transaction, and that's set between you and your agent. The other is the cash offer fee, and that just gets held separately. It could be a similar amount to the other one. It could be just different. I mean, it's going to be different most likely, but it could be the same just out of a sense of, possibility. All right. Last couple questions, then we're going to wrap up here. Are Annie Mac home mortgage interest? Oh, it's right here. Interest rates higher when used to finance a home using cash offer? No, and I love that they put in exclamation point. The same low interest rates are used for cash offer with no additional points. Okay, good. Does Annie Mac Cash to Keys work with buyers looking to buy investment properties? So not currently, right? This is really only for your traditional, I am going to live in owner occupant type programs, right? Cash to Keys is dedicated to making home ownership attainable and only works on transactions for primary residence or second homes. Think about that too. This might be something that you do, especially if you're in a competitive market like down the Jersey Shore, right? You may have a 5% down conventional mortgage, but they got all these people with all this money down there. Well, this could be an opportunity to use this cash offer backing for that shore home to give you that equivalence of having a cash backed offer. Okay. Is Annie Mac Cash to Keys an iBuyer? iBuyer is something kind of separate. You can Google it. It's a whole different thing, but it's not that. Do I have to use Annie Mac Home Mortgage when I use cash offer? You do not need to use Annie Mac Home Mortgage. But if you use Annie Mac Home Mortgage and our preferred title partner, you will receive a credit for the cash offer fee according to the terms of your cash offer service agreement. So technically, could you use a different mortgage company and a different title partner? Yes, you can. You can. But that cash offer fee would not be refunded at the end. They would make money off the cash offer fee because you're not using them as a mortgage company and you're not using one of those preferred title companies. So that's the trade-off, right? You can use your own mortgage company, you can use your own title company and still have a cash to keys backing, but you're going to pay a 2% fee basically to have that right to do that. If you use Annie Mac and you use one of their local reputable title companies, you get that entire portion refunded. Does that make sense? It kind of makes sense how those two things ebb and flow. And again, I can send you this if you need to. Okay. How long does it take to get an Annie Mac Cash to Keys cash offer pre-approval? With a full submission of application and credit with income, employment, and asset documentation, the normal stuff you'd give for a mortgage, underwriting pre-approval times are 2 to 3 days. So that's pretty quick. Okay. If I'm already pre-approved with a lender, do I need a pre-approval from Annie Mac? Yes. Every lender is a little bit different. So even if you had another pre-approval, you still have to go through a pre-approval process again. And then what happens after I'm pre-approved with Annie Mac Cash to Keys? You'll be assigned that HPC or that home purchase coordinator. They will discuss the process with you and provide you with a written cash offer agreement that lays out the steps and specific requirements. You will then shop for your home with your new realtor. Okay. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. And I'm going to kind of end this a little disorganized here as we kind of move these to the side. Next week, I'm going to go over the buy now, sell later. Okay, next week, we're going to review all the frequently asked questions for the buy now, sell later. This first process and program, this is more for if you don't currently own a home and you're going to look to buy either that first home or just go buy a home, but you just don't have one that you're trying to leverage and balance the two, right? This is more for just that situation. The next week's one is going to be if I own a home and I feel like I can't, like I want to find the next house before I put mine on the market, but my realtor keeps saying like, "Hey man, we got to have your home on the market because you're never going to get an offer accepted, and you're caught in this catch-22, right?" So the buy now sell later works very similarly to this, but it has a little bit extra worked in because of the way that it gets bridged across the two. So anyway, that's going to do it for us here, week 42. We got 10 weeks left of the year. We're really kind of picking up some steam here into the end. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Go Phillies. Sorry the Eagles lost, but other than that, see you next week.